Hello, welcome back to another video. This is a continuation of the last video where I covered Net-a-Porter and Farfetch. If you're interested in learning about those international luxury e-tailers and whether they are legit or not, feel free to check out that video. Today we'll be talking about Matchesfashion, Mytheresa, Louisa Via Roma, and Ssense. I hope that at the end of this video I can help you know more about this e-tailer and that information can help you be a better shopper in your process. Before I jump in, I want to say that I like to share my experiences as a working mom, as an accounting/finance professional, and share things I love like handbags and a few other luxury items. If you enjoy those type of videos too, I would love you to consider subscribing. With that, let's go ahead and get started. The first e-tailer we're talking about today is Matchesfashion. If you have ordered from them before, the first thing that may come to mind is probably their unique marble print magnetic box they use for your goodies. Matchesfashion is a UK company started by a husband and wife team, the Chapmans. They actually have been in business as a local boutique since 1987. Its focus is the premier designer brands. Fast forward 20 years later, in 2007, it started its online business and things were going well. In 2013, it renamed to be Matchesfashion that we know of today. Then in 2017, they first shared their financial information with the public, which they don't need to because they are privately owned. And they let the public know that in 2016, Matchesfashion's annual revenue was £204 million and the company was making money. To show how international they have become, they also said 90% of their revenue comes from online sales, with 80% of the sales made outside of the US, which is where they are based at, and US being its #1 market. All these are quite an achievement considering it started out as a mom and pop shop. When they are asked how they did it, their response is they pride themselves being extremely customer focused. They always think what the customers want and how to make them happy. And their strategy worked. 3% of its clientele represent 35% of Matchesfashion's business. It also has a high customer retention rate of 65%, an average customer spend of £500. In addition to excellent customer service, they also try to differentiate themselves from others by trying to create a warm and intimate online shopping experience. This is quite hard to do, and that's why a lot of luxury fashion houses were very hesitant when it comes to selling online in the early days. What fears fashion houses most is that they don't know how to create and maintain that one-on-one relationship that a physical store can create through e-commerce. But Matchesfashion seemed to figure out a way to make it work, whether it is through delivering the products using their signature marble print boxes with excellent packaging, or through its customer service. Matches also started including editorial content on their websites and really tried to build a connection with the viewers. Late in 2017, the same year Matchesfashion celebrated their 30th anniversary being in business, the Chapmans sold majority of their shares to Apex Partner, a private equity firm that also owned Karl Lagerfeld. Matches is still privately owned as of today. In summary, Matchesfashion is a legit company. Similar to Net-a-Porter, it buys its designer inventory directly from the brands to sell to customer and does not act as a middleman like Farfetch. So that gives me comfort when it comes to authenticity of the products. They also featured in Vogue, Marie Claire, and interviewed by Bloomberg. I'm definitely keeping an eye on this e-tailer. Next is Mytheresa.com. It is a German company. What I find interesting is that it almost has the exact beginning as Matchesfashion, except for one is in the UK and one is in Germany. I say that because Mytheresa also started as a boutique, a husband and wife team, and also back in 1987. Again, almost 20 years later, in 2006, Mytheresa expanded to the online business. In 2014, it was purchased by Neiman Marcus. In 2017, it has a revenue of £245 million. 66% of sales come from outside Germany. It also has a decent presence in the US and Asia. The way it sets itself apart from others is what is called a tightly edited inventory. It means that while Net-a-Porter and Farfetch carry about 800 and 3,200 brands, Mytheresa carries only about 250 brands. To these days, Mytheresa is still doing well. In a recent Bloomberg article, it talks about how Neiman Marcus was exploring the option to either put Mytheresa up for sale or to make it a public traded company. Also, as I was learning about the company, something interesting I noticed as the online business were doing so well, the owner actually changed its physical store from its original name Teresa to Mytheresa to make the name consistent for both the physical and the online stores. That also made me realize that in the traditional days, usually it's the physical store expanding into the online space, but nowadays it can be a reverse where the online presence of a business can be so strong that the physical store is just an extension or marketing tool for the online store. A good example will be Fashionphile and Rebag. Both consignment or pre-loved luxury resellers started online only, but they now both have physical stores in certain locations in the US. In summary, Mytheresa is a legit company. Even though it is now owned by Neiman Marcus, it is still operating independently. Moving on to Louisa Via Roma. It is an Italian company. Similar to Matchesfashion and Mytheresa, it started out as a local boutique. It was founded by a French woman named Louisa Jacqueline, located on Via Roma, hence the name Louisa Via Roma. It is a family business that began 90 years ago in 1929, and they are now in their third generations and it is still doing well. In 1999, Louisa Via Roma expanded into the online business. Similar to others that we have talked about, it targets an international market, but it has a particular focus in China. I guess that's not surprising because China has been the growing market for luxury goods. One of the studies showed that Chinese customers make up 47% of the global luxury market. To follow through its strategy, earlier this year, Louisa Via Roma signed an agreement to partner up with Seiko, which has a similar business model like Farfetch, and it is currently China's largest luxury e-commerce platform. In terms of how Louisa Via Roma is doing financially, in 2018, it has sales of 130 million euro. It's driven almost entirely by its online sale, 95%. 50% of its sales are in Italy, and the rest are in Russia, Southeast Asia, and Latin America. As of today, Louisa Via Roma is still 100% family-owned business. In terms of whether Louisa Via Roma is a legit company, the answer is definitely yes. They have similar model as Matchesfashion and Mytheresa. Also, considering it carries 500 brands, from well-known designer brands to the up-and-coming talents, Louisa Via Roma is also a good option if you can't find something on the other international e-tailers. In terms of the authenticity of the products, because it's private and there's not much transparency of the company, again, when in doubt, get with a professional for authentication. If you're not comfortable, just return the item. Last but not least is Ssense. It is a Canadian company. The founders are actually three brothers from Syria. Their family moved to Canada when the children were in their teens. The beginning of the company is quite interesting. It started out as a college project for Remy, the middle of the three brothers, as he was studying computer engineering. As things progressed, Remy recruited his two other brothers to join him to bring Ssense to a full-time business. Ssense first had a store in Montreal in 2004, then it went online in 2006. Ssense is a wholesale retailer like Net-a-Porter, Matchesfashion, and a few others we talked about. What differentiates Ssense from these other e-commerce players is that Ssense has a newness, freshness to it. It's not trying to be everything for everyone. If you go to their website, they have designer brands mixing with streetwear labels. It also mixes high-end brands with affordable wares. What I mean is that on the website, instead of seeing one category for designer brands and one for affordable brands, they have everyone listed in the all designers. This means that if you do a search for dresses on Ssense, you will see an Adidas dress for $40 to a Beaumont dress for $5,500. Their thought is that nowadays, people like to mix designer items with affordable wear, and their website shows they understand their customers. Another difference is their focus on fashion trend insight. It is a website for those who are in the know. If you go to the sort menu, there is an option for trending, and you can tell what the hot items. In terms of how the company is doing financially, as of today, like Louisa Via Roma, Ssense does not have any outside investor yet, and it is still completely privately owned by the family. While it is private and there's not much public information about the financial of the company, Remy, in an interview, they say that they are profitable from day one and have been reinvesting their earnings back in the company for future growth. In terms of annual sales, it is still something that the company is not ready to share with the public yet. But Remy did say that they are on track to meet 1 billion Canadian dollars next year. For Ssense, 76% of its clientele is millennials, aged between 18 to 34, just like the brothers who are also millennials. And that probably explains why Ssense is so in touch with the customer, because they are millennials themselves. As for its customer base, 80% is Canadian, almost half is US, and 10% in China, with the remaining spread across South Korea, Australia, Hong Kong, and Japan. One other thing I want to mention, when we talked about Net-a-Porter in the last video, I said it is one of those few that are successfully doing both product sales and editorial content. But I will say that Ssense is definitely tracking closely behind. When I first went to the Ssense website, the first thing I saw were the different articles on the main page. I was like, am I on the right website? Then I saw 3 small menus that named Men, Women, and Search that are tucked away to the top left corner of the page, and that's where all the products are. As I was doing my research, I learned what I'm seeing today is the result of the brothers redesigning the homepage 4 years ago to purposely hide the size products behind those drop-down menus and put front and center articles, photo editorials, and interviews with a wide range of cultural leaders. They made that change because they believe if they can draw people in through the content, those viewers will likely shop on Ssense. It seems to be working for them. Remy said in 2018, 29% of revenue is generated via Ssense readers. In summary, Ssense is also a legit website. In terms of authenticity of the product, there is not much transparency of the company. Again, when in doubt, get with a professional for authentication, and if you are not comfortable, return the item. Alright, that's all I have for this video. I hope you find this helpful. If you enjoyed it, I would love you to consider subscribing so you can see my future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye now.